Okay, I just hit resume recording, so
Now it says so.
Hi there.
yeah, it's showing up here.
Okay. The meeting is being recorded.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
hi, John.
Hi.
We all got quiet when we knew the meeting was being recorded. But it's 7 o'clock now. I'm going to give it another minute or so for hopefully Ellen to come on the call. Oh, actually, she's here.
Yeah, no, I'm
Sorry.
here. I just was muted. So I
No,
haven't
it's-
even sat down or printed the agenda yet, but I am here.
And
Okay,
I
no, that was
saw
actually, it was more
Brian.
the way I had it, the view. So I know Beth is not going to be here tonight, and Ralph is in an emergency other meeting. And other than that, are we missing anyone, or do we have everyone?
Somebody else just came on, a phone number, let me see.
2951.
It's
Hi,
Brian. Hi.
Hey, Brian.
Hello. I can get my camera working.
Yeah, so other than, let's see, do you know about Cheryl, if she's going to be here?
He might be the one that was just trying to get on. Cheryl, are you here?
Don't see her.
There's a
Brian, are
phone-
you on with your phone and your computer?
Yes, I am. My computer, my computer microphone doesn't work. So
Yeah, no, I understand. Sometimes I have to do that too. So the 2951 is Brian.
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
2951 is me.
Do you want to give another minute for Cheryl or Ellen? Are you ready to get started? And we can just add her in
Someone
later.
from work is actually calling me, so all I can hear is my phone ringing right now. And I can't figure out how to text her, but I'm back on the Zoom already.
Okay, I'll give it a minute.
Okay, I think that's done. I just need to send her a quick text. Sorry, 7 is just so people are so used to just.
No worries.
Okay, now it put me in driving mode. I don't even know what that is. I'll just email her real quick and just tell her I'm on the phone.
Okay. All right. So this is Rebecca Nash. It's 7:02, and I'm calling the meeting to order. Ellen has the roll, and there are no citizens for citizens' comments. Could I get a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting of March 15th?
So moved.
Moved by Brian. Could I get a second?
So move for second.
And Carol, second. As far as correspondence, I know we did get an email that was shared with us about freedom of information requirements related to, posting minutes and, meetings and things like that. Gail, did you want to elaborate on it, or?
Well, I included the emails in your report. The first one was from Linda Davis, and then 2 follow-ups from the mayor. I also included a chart that basically outlines what the requirements were, and then a lengthy report showing the highlights of the act. And basically, if you read the email, we're not alone in not getting our minutes filed within a week. One of the things that I discovered, though, with the new system, I am not using that system for the minutes. So for several months, it looked like our minutes were not up there when they were actually uploaded separately. And after talking with Roxanne, we figured out a way that I could do it. I don't like the formatting in the system that the town uses. I'm sticking with the old formatting. I think it looks more professional in the way they show up. So I've gone back and uploaded every one of those through the system now. So it looks like we have minutes, even though we did have them all along. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah, thank you. the one thing I noted in there, and that we just have to keep in mind, so one of the things that says, you know, we should file the draft one and then not make corrections to it. So if we do have a correction to the minutes, we should do it, you know, the following month and make note of it in those minutes.
Correct. We don't have to resend a copy of the minutes. We just have the correction listed in the new minutes.
All right. So, and, you know, I know it's, thank you for doing them. I think and just so everyone knows, it was a message that sort of went to all the committees. It wasn't like something that, you know, we were specifically doing wrong, but definitely, you know, we can make it better now that we know the new system.
And the other piece of it too, filing a record of votes. And as I mentioned, we typically only vote on the minutes unless it's something that we're discussing. So I can take care of getting that uploaded right away until the minutes come out.
Oh, that would be great. Does that work for you, Ellen?
I'm sorry, I only caught half of that.
If Gail, you know, because we're required to input the votes right away, and
Yeah.
typically we only have vote on the approving the minutes. So Gail can take care of getting that in so that
Oh,
it goes.
yes, that works fine for me. Yeah, when you asked me, I was like, well, I'm not really doing anything. So I thought I missed
Oh.
something.
No, all good.
All right, awesome. Thanks.
Yep, thank you both.
Yeah, so that is the only vote other than budget time.
Correct. And occasionally we'll have a vote. Tonight we have a policy to vote on, but typically we don't have any other votes.
Well, I guess we have the adjournment too. Does that matter?
No, I don't think that counts.
Okay, all right, good. Perfect. All right, so if we're all set with that, ready to move on to the March Treasurer's Report, Carol?
Okay, that's in the packet. Everything was very simple and balanced, and we did have expenditures listed this month, which I presume is what was taken out this month, correct, Gail? So it was both month
Correct.
expenditures. But they all show up in this one, so they're all accounted for. And
Does anyone have any?
questions? I
Oh, sorry.
don't have anything else to say about it.
I was just going to say, does anyone have any questions for Carol? All right, moving on to the Director's Report. Gail.
Okay, let me get myself situated here. The Finance Committee recommended giving a 3% increase to the part-time employees, which will bring the starting rate into compliance with the minimum wage increase for fiscal year 2022. The starting rate for next year will be $13.10 an hour, and then it will increase across the steps accordingly. In addition, at least one member would like to see us open again on Sundays. They proposed adding $1,000 to the part-time account, which will cover both the 3% increase across the steps, as well as Sunday hours for the approximately 40 weeks, mid-September to mid-June. And the town council did approve that last week. So it now goes to a public hearing in April, followed by a town meeting and referendum in May. And I believe they set the date now at May 17th. Is that correct, Mary?
Yes,
I know there was some discussion on when they were going to have it.
well, they were trying to be in compliance with the governor's executive orders, and it became kind of confusing. So they asked the town attorney, and he said our charter preempts that. So that we're kind of back to the old way we do it.
Okay, okay, good. Under library news, I'm happy to report that the pandemic had a positive effect on our borrow funding for 2021. We will receive $1,639 this year, which is double the amount we have had for the past few years and the highest we've had in 12 years. The funding is based on the number of times that non-residents used our library and the number of times Ledger residents used other libraries. Last year, we loaned just over 6,000 items to non-residents, and Ledger residents borrowed 8,720 items from other libraries, giving us a net of minus 2,683. In past years, our lending has been between 7,000 to 10,000 plus, and our net has been in the vicinity of minus 16,000 to minus 20,000. Because fewer residents visited other libraries, our funding is higher this year. Groton Library has been closed the past few months, and in addition to our residents not being able to visit them, we have seen Groton patrons come to us, and that all played a role in the funding. Scheduling policy. Several years ago, the Library Commission instituted a policy for safety reasons that required 2 people to be on site at each building at all times. We never put anything in writing that I can find, and I'd like to recommend that we do so. Staff generally follow the town personnel policy, or in the case of union employees, their bargaining contract. However, neither document includes anything about building coverage. Due to the recent situation with the intruder, I'm trying to address all safety concerns. This is generally not an issue at Bill, as several of us are often here working in the back. However, at Gales Ferry, we typically only have 2 people working at a time. In order to have adequate coverage, if only 2 people are working, they will need to take their lunch break, half hour, on site, and I'd like to have it in writing. I spoke with Human Resources about the issue and showed him what I had written. He felt it was fine and noted there was nothing in the bargaining contracts that would prevent us from requiring that lunch breaks be taken on site in these cases. And I included a copy of that policy that we can discuss later. Freedom of information, I think we covered that a little bit. Guess that we need to be a little more diligent about meeting the 7-day requirement for posting minutes after a meeting and a summary of votes taken within 48 hours. And as I mentioned, I'll take care of doing the votes. We do follow the requirements of filing the meeting schedule and also posting the meeting. So it's just the minutes that we're falling down on, and we're not alone. If you notice in the email, there are several other departments in the same boat. We've been giving out a packet of information to new library card applicants that includes information about the library and the town. We include things about the up-down sawmill, Ledger DNA. We have a list of all town officials and state officials, and usually a couple of brochures on the library. And I recently updated the information for the packet with a newly designed library brochure And Stacy put together a brochure on children and teen programs. And I've included copies in the mailing. And again, this is all part of our marketing strategy for the strategic plan. And I followed it up with the scheduling policy and copies of the brochures. And that's my report.
Nice job on the
Anyone?
flyers.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. And any other questions or comments? Okay, committee reports. John, anything from the Friends?
Not really. They're not meeting until the 22nd, which is Thursday. So they'll both have an executive board and general membership meeting. The last general membership meeting, nobody other than the executive board showed up. And the one before that, there was one person showed up. So it's kind of hard to get the members to actually attend. We'll be meeting on the 22nd virtually.
Okay, thank you. No old business, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so new business, is there more that we need to talk about the freedom of information stuff?
I think we've covered it pretty much.
Yeah, all right, that was my take as well.
Questions?
All right, so as far as the library scheduling policy, would you be able, you said you had something already written up on that?
I did, yes.
It's in the package.
Yeah, if you can get it so it's on the screen, that might help.
Yep.
If you don't, if that's all right.
I have it. Is
There it is.
here now?
Move to
So-
approve.
Okay, someone want a second?
I can.
Okay, was that Carol?
Yes.
Okay, great. Any discussion about the library scheduling policy? I guess I just want to clarify, you talked with the HR department and they were fine with, you know, the people having to stay on site for lunch?
Yes, yes. I wanted to get his okay first before I did anything. And he said,
Absolutely, okay.
fine, yep. Theoretically, they're not paid for their lunch break. And the union people do not get paid. The non-union people, library assistants, because they only work 8 hours, maybe every other week, one day, I do go ahead and pay them the 8 hours.
Okay, so then that actually makes it easier for them to swallow too, as far as like, you know, you can't run an errand. Okay.
Right, right.
Okay, any other questions or the vote? All right, I'll take that as we're ready to vote. All in favor of the library scheduling policy as presented? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed or abstained? Okay, the motion passes unanimously. And unless there's any other new business, which I don't think there is, if I could get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, that was Brian, and I'll second it. That's Rebecca. And so the meeting is adjourned at 7:19, like 17-minute meeting. Very well
Wow.
done, everyone.
Wow, that's the quickest ever.
Yeah, and our next meeting is May 17th on Zoom, and it's good to see everyone.
Yeah,
So
likewise.
can you stay on for a second? I just want to go back through this because I was
Yeah,
sort of
absolutely.
coming and going for a few
Good night.
minutes there.
Good night, Brian.
Okay, good
Bye,
night.
Brian. Bye, Mary.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Okay, so who were the moving parties for the motion to approve minutes?
Okay,
I think it was John and then Carol.
I
Seconded.
write that down for almost everything. That's what I have for the motion on the new business, the library scheduling policy. I have John and Carol too. Everybody was present except for Ralph and Beth were both excused. Did Cheryl come on?
Cheryl did
She
not.
did not.
Okay, I was gonna say it was quiet. So
Ellen, I can review the video and double check on the motions.
I hate to have you do that. It should just be so straightforward. It just it's really hard to see who's doing what. It gives me a little caption. Like right now it says Ellen is speaking, but
Yep.
when you talk, it says Ledger Public Libraries, but other than that, they tend to sort of flash by really quick.
Typically, I know when the town council meets, whoever makes a motion has to state their name.
And that's how I'd like it to be. That's how it is on the other group that I'm the secretary for. It really
Yeah,
helps
we should-
me write it down, and it gives me a second to write it instead of jumping into the motion and being like, oh, I'll go back later.
We should-
I'll remind people about that. And I usually try and repeat the name, but I think sometimes there's a delay, and I think if more than one person's talking, it sort of cuts out. So I didn't realize you weren't getting it.
Yeah,
But-
tonight for some
yeah.
reason, I think we were all just sort of rushed and went through it really quick. Was there a motion to approve the treasurer's report? I wrote down that the report was all balanced, but that was all I wrote.
We don't vote on that one.
Yeah, we
It
don't.
would just accept it as presented, subject to
Okay,
audit.
that's, yeah, that's right. That's why I'm looking at this. I'm like, I don't have anything for that. So, all right, I think I'm much better now. I just wanted to have something useful here.
Yeah, it's
So
hard.
I
The
think
front
it's
part of
good.
the meeting is always very heavy with things that you need to write down, and then the other part, then the meeting gets going, and there's all that detail that's hard to,
Yeah.
if you
I
if
mean,
you
I
don't
can
hear
rely
it.
a lot on the director's report doing it this way, so that's fine. When we meet in person, I can't cut and paste from the director's report, but when we do it virtually, that part is easy. It's just the rest of it where if I'm writing things
Right.
down, I'm missing them. So, all right, well, I think we're good. I am so glad, Gail, that you checked about that lunch thing, because I read that and I was like, they're not going to agree to do that. They want to run to the post office and CVS and
Yeah, no. And I have to tell you, Ellen, when you send me the minutes, they're great. I just have to cut and paste them right into the format, and it's very easy to do.
okay, good.
Yeah.
I just have to get them done quicker.
Well, I think if we get the votes up there, again, I think it was one person who was causing all the furor over this.
So, yeah, well, I know something happened with the Board of Ed where people were saying they weren't posting it quick enough in a lot of the parents groups. And then it may have just trickled down where someone else kicked some tires and said, oh, look what I found out.
Yeah.
So now we've got to do it, which is fine. I mean, we want to be compliant. It's much easier when we're meeting in person and I'm typing it on the keyboard.
Right.
So
Yeah, and
no.
I just want to repeat how grateful I am that you do it, and that's why I wanted to really emphasize that
Oh, I
this
appreciate
was
that.
not like someone singling out the library or anything like that. So, I mean,
Oh,
you
no,
do a
not at
great
all.
job
I
with
know
it.
where it started. Like I said, it started with the Board of Ed and people saying that they couldn't tell how the people had voted 2 days after the school thing. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, now that's going to be the next big thing that everyone in the town is going to be yelling about.
Right. I mean,
That's
no
life in a
offense,
small
but we're lucky
town.
if anyone reads our minutes.
Well, the one guy in the email apparently does. So he checked at the portal to see if we were compliant, and we weren't. So, but it doesn't sound like we were non-compliant. It just sounds like they were uploaded in the